That erupted in July in Juba, South Sudan, has reversed all the gains that have been made, and now the country is back to square one. According to former Botswana President Festus Mogae, who is South Sudan's Joint Monitoring and Evaluation Commission chairperson, the situation there remains fragile.
5 years after gaining independence, South Sudan is gripped by a civil war that has claimed almost 50,000 lives and displaced 1.6 million people. The UN says the situation is almost near genocide. After the signing of the peace agreement, the situation has gone worse. South Sudan has close to 2 million South Sudanese outside as refugees.
The fighting that broke out in Juba on 8th and 7th and 8th up to 11th July last year reversed all that. All the institutions, the agreement institutions that had been created, including the government of national unity itself, which had been formed.
Mogae says the previous government of national unity was not representative at all.
And so we're kind of back to square one, where we are trying to reconstitute the agreement institutions and mechanisms which had been created but which fell apart when the fighting took place.
The opposition has split into two, one faction led by Dr. Riek Machar and the other led by General Taban. The Taban faction has joined the government of national unity, whilst Machar has fled the country.
Riek Machar's followers, the majority of them are his own people, the Nuer, who are the second largest ethnic group in the country. But there are those whose followers, it is not exclusively tribal, but there is a substantial ethnic element in it. And therefore, his people, his followers, his previous followers, he still has influence with them, including some of the fighting people, including the 700 that are stranded in DRC, but others inside the country. That is why there is fighting all over the place.
Warring parties have requested South Africa to provide material support while efforts to bring back stability are being sought. Meanwhile, former President Mogae says the situation remains fragile because, among other things, the economy has collapsed, the humanitarian situation is dire, and the country is dependent on supplied food from neighboring countries including Kenya and Uganda. Lehana Tsotetsi, SABC News, Addis Ababa, Ethiopia.